Hey everybody, it's 8 o'clock on Saturday night, which means it's time to do the live. So here we are, Keto Nurse and Friends. I'll hang out here for a few minutes, see if anybody shows up. Not seeing anybody yet. Alright. Not seeing anybody yet. Alright, for one thing, I need to turn that TV off. Alright, guys. I guess what we're going to do... Alright. Alright, for one thing, I need to turn that TV off. Alright, guys. I guess what we're going to do... I'm just going to go ahead and start the live and start the information that I know that I'm going to have, that I'm going to be covering tonight. We've got a lot of information. Oh, I got something in my teeth. Y'all. Lord have mercy. How embarrassing. Just tells you I'm human. The thing is that, hey, Candy. Hey, Valerie. Glad to see some people showing up. The information that I'm going to share tonight... I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep that muted. The information we're going to cover tonight is a lot of the same information we did last week, except for that I want to go more in depth with it. I want to make sure that everybody understands how to figure up your macros and how to use those correctly. I also want to go over some artificial sweeteners, how they affect us, the glycemic index, and what the glycemic index is and what it does to our bodies, how it affects us when we eat food, and why we try to only eat foods that have a very low glycemic index. The first thing that I wanted to cover tonight, and there's just not hardly anybody on here right now, so I don't want to... Hey, Lisa. I don't want to get started on this until I have a few people here, because it's really important that everybody understands how to figure your macros correctly, so that you know how many calories to take in and you know which calories to take in, whether it's protein or fat or carbs. Now, what I will do here in the beginning, before we get started on any of the information that we're doing, is y'all have to excuse me, I have my laptop pulled up over here so that I can kind of see what's going on as I work through this. Excuse me, I have my laptop pulled up over here. This thing is not staying muted at all. I'm trying to do this because I'm going to try something new tonight, y'all. I'm going to try using my laptop to share some information with you too. I bought me this new little tripod type dealie and it wouldn't work, so I actually have my camera strapped to a paper towel holder, to be honest with you. But it'll work. It keeps it where it's at, and when we get to that portion of the video, then I'll be able to change the camera angle so that y'all can see what I'm doing, and we'll see if we can't get some stuff figured out. So here in the beginning, I'm going to share my week with you. Candy, or I guess you probably go by Candace now. I apologize if I offend. She has friended me on MyFitnessPal, and you are all welcome to do so. Go find me on MyFitnessPal. You can use my email address that I posted on the site, on the group page, and you should be able to find me. And she can see everything that I eat every day. And it's some days I eat a lot, some days I don't. This week it's probably been about the same thing about every day. I've stopped at Rusty Bike a couple of days, and then a few other days I've gone over to Karen's there at the flea market. But it's almost always the same thing in the morning. I almost always have 3 scrambled eggs with cheese and either bacon or sausage, sometimes both. If I have time in the mornings, I fix it at home. But when Hannah has to work, then I've got to get out of here pretty early. So I usually just either go to Rusty Bike or Karen's and get it there. And I carry my bulletproof coffee stuff with me, my pods that we talked about last week. And so I either make my bulletproof coffee at home and take it, and I leave it sitting in the car while I go in and eat breakfast, and then sip on that bulletproof coffee. And as Candace can attest, that's pretty much all I've eaten this week, is just breakfast. I am trying a new intermittent fasting. A lot of people intermittent fast from evening to evening and do dinners. For me, mornings are better because it gets my day started and I have all that fat in the morning, and so I get to get started with my day and have lots of energy. And then after I eat that, for the most part for the rest of the day, all I do is sip on water or vitamin water, life water. I'm trying a couple of new teas this week. I tried some Bengal tea. Wasn't a big fan of that. Going to try a few others later this week. But for the most part, I just don't eat. That breakfast that I eat with the eggs and cheese and bacon and sausage and a bulletproof coffee usually puts me pretty close to my calories. I will say that sometimes I forget to track little things. If I have, like this week I was eating pistachios, and I think I only tracked those one day. It's very important that you track every day in the beginning. I know my body now, and I know how I'm feeling each day. And I had told y'all that I've been stalled for a while. Well, this week, getting back on this really stringent tracking and staying away from any kind of cheats or allowing myself to have things that I know that I shouldn't eat, I have been really, really tight on myself. And I've actually dropped about 6 pounds this week. I still haven't got myself back down into the 240s, and that is my goal, is to get down into the 240s again. I don't count it until I've stayed there for at least a week, so I haven't been able to stay in the 240s for a week yet. I've dipped down into them like 3 different times, but I'm a little stalled right now. So right now is when you have to do all these adjustments. Right now is when you have to figure out those calories, and you have to figure out that fat count. Hey, Jody. So right now, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start showing you guys how to figure this stuff out. And, hey, Candace, I was just talking about how you were watching me on my Fitness Pal. I don't know if you've actually been on there looking at it, but you're the only one so far that has friended me there, so you're the only one who's seen what I've been eating. And if you watch today, you'll know that I haven't eaten today. Woke up. I was at the jail super late last night and came home, planned on getting up early and going to the jail and doing my 4 hours there today, and I didn't. Hi, Melissa. Welcome to the group. We have a lot of new members in the group this week. I'm so excited to say that our membership actually doubled in a week, and that is so exciting. What I would really love to see is for everybody to start posting. If you have questions, post. If you find something that's yummy, post it. If you hear something interesting, if you see an interesting video on YouTube, share it with the group, guys. I don't want to be the only one posting in this group. I want us to share. That's what this is all about, is support and sharing and questions and educating each other. So, yeah, it was a good breakfast. So today, I woke up late and I had to get to work, and I wasn't hungry. I'm hardly ever hungry anymore, to be honest. And so I didn't eat this morning. And so I haven't eaten all day. And I'm just considering it an extended fast, which you'll learn more about. Hi, Brittany. You'll learn more about extended fasting and intermittent fasting as you study this way of eating. I'm just now really starting to look at extended fasting. I always thought that it would be way too hard to do. And I've been watching a lot of videos this week. Dr. Eric Berg, that I had told you guys about, and I know that a few of you have been watching his videos. Jessica Thomas had contacted me this week and said that she and her husband were watching his videos. He does a lot of videos on it, but the one that really interested me this week was Dr. Fung, and you'll see him mentioned a lot on Ketogenic Success and Keto Evangelist Kitchen. Dr. Fung is on YouTube. I will make sure that I put some links to his pages. He does a lot of research on fasting and how it affects the body. And it's not just for weight loss, y'all. It's for healing. It's to allow your body to heal. It's to allow your body to take care of some of the problems that's going on, because a lot of the weight that you lose when you're stalling in the beginning, a lot of people get frustrated. I've seen it on Ketogenic Success this week a lot, that people are getting super frustrated because they started this way of eating in January, and right off the bat they lost 8, 10, 12, 15 pounds in that first few weeks, and then the weight loss stopped. Well, that's going to happen. Because that first part of that weight loss is going to be that water weight. It's going to be that easy weight. It's going to be the stuff that's not so hard to take off. Okay, and then you're going to get into that healing stage. And at that point, I need you guys to be patient. Let the process work, because during that time, your body is healing and you're going to feel differences. You're going to start sleeping better. Your skin is going to clear up. You're going to feel a lot better. You're going to feel rested. You're going to have more energy. And all those things are happening, and you may not be losing pounds, okay? But you may be losing inches. I want to tell everybody, I had wrote it down in my notes to mention tonight, everybody that's starting this process, please, before and after photos. You want to get those before photos, because most of us that are overweight never take a full-length picture. We're not about to get our picture taken. We're the ones that get to the back of the photo and the group photos, and we're the ones that make sure we're standing behind a chair or have a child standing in front of us. I know that was me always. And so when I went back to look for my before pictures to see what kind of progress I was making, it was hard for me to find some full-length pictures that I could compare to. I had several in the wedding pictures and such, and I'm sure that lots of y'all have seen those. But you want to get those before pictures. You don't have to share those right now. You don't have to put those out there right now. Those are yours, okay? You don't ever have to share them if you don't want to. But you're going to want to see them. You're going to need those to be able to compare to in those times when you are plateaued and you feel like you're not making any progress at all. So, before pictures, and everybody needs to go out and get them a tape. Oh goodness, I don't know where I put mine. I had it over here so that I could show it to y'all. Just a tape measure, like the flexible ones. The one that you can get, a lot of people use them in sewing and stuff. But you need a flexible tape measure, the cloth type. Hey, Jessie. Hey, Jessie, did Hannah ever get over to your house? You want to get that tape measure. You want to do... Yes, exactly, Candace. Do you go by Candace or Candy? I just have to ask. I knew you were Candy in high school. Walmart sewing department, you can get them for 99 cents. Oh, okay. Thanks, Jess. Thank you, Candace, because I felt like I was probably offending by using the name Candy. I know that I don't go by my nicknames anymore either. Get those measurements. You want to measure your chest right at the big part, ladies. Right at the big part, the biggest part you got. Measure yourself. Also, measure your band size, your bra band, because you're going to be so surprised at how much that changes over these first few months. Measure your neck. measure your biceps right here, both arms. Don't just do one arm, do both arms, do both thighs, and then I want you to do your waist and your hips. Y'all, when I say your waist, Lord, I can't believe I'm doing this, but when I say your waist, I want you to measure right here, right at your belly button, right around your waist, right where you dip in. Even though us big girls, we dip in a little. Right there at your waist, get that measurement right at your belly button. Then your hips, that is going to be at the biggest part of your hips, the apex of your hips, where your bottom is big. I want you to measure that. Write all of those measurements down. Write them down in a book. Get a little notebook, one of those little tiny composition books that you can get for 59 cents. Get one of those. Write the date on it. Write your measurements down. Take a picture. The first 6 months of my journey, I did a picture on the first of every month. Now, February I did not do a picture, but I figured that I have a pretty good progression going on there, and I'm just going to keep an eye on it. And now that I'm on this live, people are going to see me at least once a week. So do that, because those weren't just for me to share with other people to get their opinion on how I was doing. Those were so that on those days when I just felt like nothing was happening, you stick those pictures side by side and you're going to be amazed at the difference. Those measurements, the measurements will blow you away, because there will be times that you'll go, I do my measurements once a month on the first of each month, and you will be amazed at the amount of inches that you lose. Now, don't be surprised when you lose a bunch of inches in one spot, and the next month you come back and you've gained back half an inch in one spot, but you've lost an inch in another. Because what happens is when that water is shifting, when the fat cells are releasing water, when they're releasing those hormones, when they're releasing all that toxicity, when they're releasing that fat, your body shifts. Your proportions shift. That's going to happen. All right, now that we've got a few people on here, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Everybody, we talked last week about your TDEE. This is going to be a little different, so give me just a second here. And we're going to flip. All right. Now you can see my little board. All right. What we're going to do is I'm going to help walk you through how to figure your macros. The first thing I asked y'all to do was to get online and to do your TDEE calculator. Okay? TDEE calculator. For those of you that did it, I also told you I only want you to have two numbers, your TDEE and your BMR. That's the only two numbers that mean anything off of that whole calculator. Tonight I'm going to use my numbers so that I can show you how this works. My TDEE, because I consider myself sedentary. I do not exercise at all. I work, and for the most part I work sitting down. I get down on the floor and mess around with patients and stuff every once in a while, but for the most part I'm pretty sedentary. So my TDEE is 2,170 calories. Now, y'all, that is to maintain my weight. Okay, and that's something that I definitely don't want to do, and I'm quite sure none of y'all do either. On the other hand, my BMR, basic metabolic rate, is 1808. All right, there's a big difference there. What you want to do is in between these two is where you want to settle for your daily caloric intake. For me, I stick close to my BMR, and my goal is 1,850 calories each day. Now, those calories come from 3 different sources, as we all know. Those sources are carbs, protein, and fat. Now, last week we also discussed how many calories are in each of these. In carbs, there are 4 calories per gram. The same for protein. But in fat, there are 9 calories per gram. Is that red showing up? Not real good, but let me see if I tilt it. Maybe that'll help. Alright, so what you're going to do at this point is you're going to figure out how much of each that you use. We know that we are going to have less than 20 grams of carbs. We know that because that is our goal in keto. Less than 20 grams. Now, some people use net, some people use total. Jessica, I know, uses total carbs, and she goes up to, I think it's 50. Is that right, Jessie? I think she goes up to 50 total carbs. But I only do 20 grams net carbs. And that's just me. Okay? Now, to figure protein, y'all, there's a whole nother little process. And this is where math comes in. This is where a lot of people say, keto's so hard. It's not that hard, guys. To figure your protein, we're going to go right over here. And protein for females is 45.5 grams per 5 foot. Okay? That is how that figures. For every inch over 5 feet, you multiply times 2.3. Okay? So for me, I am 5'6". So mine will be 45.5 plus 2.3 times 6. Now, I've cheated, and I've already done this on a calculator beforehand. So this comes up to 45.5 plus 13.8. You add those together, and it is 59.3 grams. Okay, so that right there is my protein grams. So back over here we go. And I know that I'm doing 59.3 grams of protein. Now, with protein, you're going to remember that that's your meats. It's your eggs. Make sure that you're checking your protein count on all your foods. Keep up with that. This is the reason that I try to plan my day ahead of time so that I don't get to lunchtime and I'm like, oh crap, I've used up all my protein. I can't eat anything else today, because there's going to be days like that. Figure it up in the mornings, or I do mine on Sundays. I have my whole week figured out early in the week. So you do it the way that is best for you. Now, the next thing that we're going to figure up, ladies, is our total, excuse me, our total caloric intake. Now, this is where we come back to that 4, 4, and 9. 4 and 8, or 4 and 20 is 80. So you've got 80 calories there. Okay? Your protein is 59.3. And so that comes up to 237.2. So this is where I talk about fat being your lever. Because that's not a lot of calories, y'all. That's only 317.2 calories. So everything else that you're going to eat is going to be fat. Everything else. Okay? So here's how you figure that. You take your total calorie for the day, our goal, which was 1850. Subtract out what we've already got, which is 317.2. And we come up with 1532.2. 0.8. That is the calories that we need from fat. To get how many grams of fat you can have during the day, you're just going to take this number right here and divide it by 9. Okay? And that is going to equal, for me, 170.2 grams. So now there I am. That is my macros for every day. Now that is a lot, y'all. That's a lot. I won't lie. It's a whole lot. But that's why I tell you that fat is your lever. Fat is the one number that you can change. Fat is the one number that you can go back and forth with. If you, every day, I probably don't eat 170 grams of fat every day. But fat's the number that you don't have to hit. Okay? Fat is your lever. You eat fat until one of the doctors on there said satiety, but I've always said satiate. So I guess satiety, is that a word? I don't know. Until you're not hungry anymore. And if you are hungry at the end of the day, and you've already hit your calories and your grams for fat, you can have more. Fat is one that can go either way, okay? Stick with your carbs, under 20 grams. Your protein, try to stay pretty close to what that protein goal is, because your body needs that protein for healing, for muscle building. You don't want to waste away your muscles, so you want to make sure you're getting that protein. And then the fat you use, up and down, up and down, up and down. It helps you stay satiated. It keeps you from being hungry. There's that word I was looking for, satiated. So next thing that I want to talk to y'all about is artificial sweeteners. There are a lot of artificial sweeteners out there, y'all. A lot. And they are not all equal. With artificial sweeteners, I found out this week, I've been doing this for 7 months, and I got a good wake-up call this week because I was craving sweets, and I didn't have any fat bombs made. And so I thought, well, I'll try those Russell Stover's sugar-free. They can't be too bad. Wrong. They're made with maltitol. Now, some people can tolerate maltitol, some cannot. I cannot. I am one that cannot. I bought the Russell Stover's, those little tiny, they're like, they're kind of like gummies. Oh, not just gas. Candace, my stomach was so tore up within an hour of eating them. I ate 6 of them, which was half a serving. And so I only ate 6, and within an hour, I was running to the bathroom. And then I cramped for hours afterwards. There are lots of good artificial sweeteners, y'all, that are fairly readily available. It's not pleasant, is it? Excuse me. Let me see if I can find I had one pulled up the other day that I'm on my laptop. I'm sorry, y'all. There was a list. All right, so here's a few. Aspartame. We've all heard of aspartame. We've heard all the negative comments in the media. It's in Pepsi. It's in lots and lots and lots and lots of diet foods. Aspartame is equal NutraSweet, NutriTaste Blue, all of those. Now, I tolerate aspartame, And I do drink Diet Dr. Pepper on occasion. I can tell a difference when I drink it. I can tell a little bit of stomach discomfort. I don't get real gassy or anything like that, but I can tell a little bit of stomach discomfort with it, and so I do it a lot less lately. But it's one of those that you can go here or there. All right. Sucralose is Splenda. And Splenda is, I use it quite a lot, to be honest, on different things. When I first started, I used Splenda on just about everything because it was easy to get, and I didn't know that I could get the others easily. I'm wanting, there we go. Here's my list that I was looking for. All right, y'all. We're going. Splenda's good, but it's not the best. I'm going to flip it all around so that you can see my computer. Let's see if I can get it lined up here so that it's a little easier to see. And then we're going to go through these. Now you'll notice at the top of the list is maltodextrin. Guys, if it has maltodextrin in it, and there are so many foods out there that have maltodextrin in them, do not buy it. Do not eat it. It will throw you out of ketosis in a heartbeat. All the O's, if it rhymes with gross, you probably don't want it. Sucralose is one exception to that. But maltose, dextrose, glucose, sucrose, all of those are actual sugar. Lactose, that is sugar in milk. That's the reason that we do not drink regular milk. We want to get down here into these low glycemic index things. You don't want coconut palm sugar. It's a natural sugar. You see these sugar alcohols? Sugar alcohols are what you're going to be seeing a lot of in keto. A lot of this stuff down here, xylitol, glycerol, sorbitol, lactitol, isomalt, mannitol. For the nurses out there, y'all know that mannitol, we use that. We administer mannitol to neuro patients. Erythritol, that is one of the best ones you can use. You'll notice over here it only has a 1 on the glycemic index. That means that it will spike your insulin a little bit, but not much. So you're going to get an insulin response if you use anything that's above a 0. Okay, anything above a 0. I don't care if it's a 1, a 2, a 3. You're going to get an insulin response. What you're looking for in keto is to stay away from insulin responses. We don't want an insulin response on anything. So my favorites, erythritol, stevia, one of the best out there. I use aspartame because I drink Diet Dr. Pepper. Sucralose, you see it down here at the bottom? That's because it has the least glycemic index, sucralose, Splenda. So you guys, saccharin is an artificial sweetener and it is not a sugar alcohol. I will tell you that saccharin, it does cause some stomach discomfort as well. A lot of these others I haven't tried. Ace K is a no. Ace K will give you what they call disaster pants. That's the same thing as what happened with the Russell Stovers that I had the other day. Not a good idea at all. So this can be looked up. This I just put in sugar, sweetener, and glycemic index, and this pulled up. This is the one that I use. This is the one I go look at when I need a... In fact, I think this is the one that I pinned on my page because it has a lot of stuff. You'll see a lot of things that you think, well, maybe I can get by with that if it's got a low glycemic index. And it's just not going to happen. Y'all, caramel, come on. We ain't going to be able to eat no caramel. Your insulin's going to go sky high. Some people use agave syrup. It's got a 15 on the glycemic index. So if I was going to use agave syrup in something, it would not be fat bombs. All right, y'all, if you're doing fat bombs, and that's what you're going to be using your sugars for, is to go into your fat bombs so that you can get some fat in the evenings if you haven't quite met your fat ratio yet. Don't use anything that has anything on the glycemic index. You make sure that it's got a 0, because fat will not target your insulin. You will not get an insulin response off of fat. But if it has any protein or any kind of sweetener, any kind of carbohydrate in it at all, anything that's going to, that registers anything on the glycemic index, it will trigger your insulin. And once your insulin responds, then you're out of fasting. And for me, I try to keep that window at a minimum 6 hours. Today it's 8:36, so I'm at about 22 hours right now. Either way. All right, the other thing that I wanted to cover tonight was what happens with the glycemic index. The glycemic index is the measure of how a food affects the insulin response in your body. I left my notes in the car, y'all. Can y'all tell I'm new to this? So the glycemic index is how it affects an insulin response. In here, the glycemic index or glycemic index is the number associated with carbohydrates in a particular type of food that indicates the effect these carbohydrates will have on a person's blood glucose level. Now, there are so many foods out there, y'all, that have a very low glycemic index. But now when it comes to food, you're not going to find a lot of zeros, okay? You're not going to find a bunch of stuff that's super low, but you can find glycemic index. Maybe it was here. Y'all, I had all this printed out and I left it in the car. And I didn't want to be late again tonight. But some low glycemic index foods. And y'all can look this up. Yes, I will put it on the site, Candace. I will make sure that it's on there. Let me make a note to myself to do that too. Glycemic index chart. And I will also make a list of stuff that I'm about to tell you about. Low glycemic foods. Eggs. Candace is the only one that's been on MyFitnessPal this week with me, except for my daughter Jessica. But she can attest to the fact that pretty much the only thing I've eaten this week is scrambled eggs with cheese and bacon and sausage. Because eggs, y'all, they're a superfood. They got such a bad rap for so long. And the truth is that they contain so much stuff that our bodies need. Whole eggs. You want to eat whole eggs. If you do not eat whole eggs, then the glycemic index jumps sky high. The whites in eggs have a glycemic index of 55. Whereas the yolks, which have always got the bad rap, are only at 15. And when you put it together as a whole egg, the glycemic index sits at around 22 because of the way that the body uses it. Something else I learned this week that I didn't know, and that proves that you're going to learn something new every day, and that's why I want everybody posting on this site, not just me, because we're all studying, we're all digging in. I want y'all to share stuff. Don't assume that I already know it, because I probably don't. I watched a video this week that explained that just because you eat 2 or 3 very low glycemic index foods does not mean that it will remain low, because it depends on how they react to each other, how those foods combine in your body, and how that chemical makeup changes as to whether or not it spikes your insulin and causes a blood glucose response. So a lot of this stuff we learn as we go. Oils, olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil. You hear about all of those on the regular keto sites. Those are all on my pins. And Candace, I believe, I'm not sure about the glycemic index chart. I will make sure it's on this group page, but I believe I have it posted on my pins on my keto board. And that's something else. Everybody, you're more than welcome to join my keto board, or my Pinterest. I'm inviting everybody in, which is very strange for me, but here I am. I'm just opening it up. Dairy. Now, when they mention dairy, that does not include milk, because milk contains lactose, which is sugars. When they talk about dairy, they're talking about cheeses, especially the soft cheeses. I think that's one of the things about keto that I've enjoyed most is I have never been real adventurous in my eating and trying new foods, but since I started keto, I really am. I've never been a cheese eater. Y'all, I have really learned to enjoy it. And I'll tell you something, some of them really stinky cheeses are delicious. It's a surprise. Candace, I think you're the only one left with me. I think everybody else left. Vegetables, fish. Now, when it comes to vegetables, you want to stay away from the starchy vegetables. Make sure that... What did you try? What kind did you try? I tried halloumi cheese this week. It is delicious. I have not tried Gouda cheese yet, though. Everybody talks about how good it is, and I still haven't tried it. With vegetables, please try to stay with those lists that we have. It's stuff that grows above the ground for the most part. You do not want root vegetables. No potatoes. Stuff that grows down in the ground. You want stuff that's above the ground. Squash, cucumbers, peppers, jalapeno peppers. Y'all, if you don't like spicy stuff, take your jalapeno peppers, open them up, and get rid of all the seeds and all of the pulp that's on the inside of that pepper, and just use the outside of it. I promise you it will, it flavors up everything so deliciously. Throw that in with some ground beef, and y'all, I put cream cheese in everything. I do ground beef and cream cheese with everything. It's just so simple and easy. Pound of ground beef, a block of cream cheese, and I'm happy. But Lamousse Black Betty cheese. Sounds good. Is it a hard cheese or a soft cheese? Goodness. I think I'm slowing down here. And the other thing is fruits. It says fruits, but for keto, we're talking about berries only. Try to keep those. I think Jessie does. Oh, it's very hard and stinky. Oh, very cool. Very cool. I'll tell you one that I don't have enough guts to try. I will not try blue cheese, y'all. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. I've tried a whole bunch of cheeses at Ingles, in their little delis, past the deli section where the curve is, and they have all their specialty cheeses. I've tried lots and lots of those. I cannot bring myself to eat anything that looks like it's got mold on it. Oh. But anyways, with the berries, I know that Jessica, my daughter, she allows herself to have one piece of fruit a day. I was never able to do that. That hard stuff, or are you talking about blue cheese on steak? Everybody tells me to put it on steak or put it in my salad and that I love it. I guess I'm just not brave enough yet. I have not been able to eat a piece of fruit a day. I can have a few berries. Bayernland Tilsiter. Where did you get these cheeses at, Candace? I know that you don't live around here, so I'm wondering if they're available around here, because you live up north. I don't know, and I really wish that I lived somewhere close enough to have a some of these stores that I see listed. You're in Wisconsin. Wisconsin. I was in the military with a girl from Wisconsin. That's how she taught me how to say it. Because being from Rabin County, I always just said Wisconsin. She said that is not how that is pronounced. At the cheese store. We don't have a cheese store. Now, when it comes to those high glycemic index things, guys, it's going to be all the white stuff, everything white, white flour, white potatoes, rice, pasta, all of that stuff. But now, I will tell you, I have been watching some videos, and I have not posted any of them yet because I have not tried them. And I will not post anything on this group that I have not tried, so that I can attest to whether it's good or not, or whether I like it or not, or whether it worked, or if it gave me any stomach discomfort, that kind of thing. I ask that everybody else do the same. Please don't just post recipes because they look good. Let's make sure that what we're sharing with our group and with our fellow ketoers, our ketonians is what they call us, is something that you've tried, so that if someone asks you, you can actually answer the question, did this taste good? Did it have was it extremely salty? Does it go well with steak? That kind of thing. Anything that you ever see me post on here, I have tried it. And in fact, the pictures that I post of food, nine times out of 10, are pictures of the food that I made. So, I ask that everybody else do the same. I know that last week we went for an hour. I'm out of discussion topics, y'all. I don't have nothing else to discuss this week. I know it's pretty much the same things we discussed last week, but I wanted to make sure that everybody understood that TDEE calculator because it is so, so very important. The other thing I want to say to everybody in our group, this is a shout out to Brittany Green Strickland. Everybody, get on Brittany Green's stuff. You see this? This is all stuff that I bought from her paparazzi page. I pray that you all have a great week. I thank you all for joining me here. I know tonight's live wasn't all that great, but it will be better. I am going to get more organized with this, y'all. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get there. So any suggestions y'all have, please give them to me. Y'all notice that I put a sheet up behind me to kind of be less distracting today. And that didn't help at all, did it? Because I distracted myself. But any suggestions y'all have, stuff that y'all want to hear about, stuff that you want to learn about. Yeah, I knew that she wouldn't be on here because it's Saturday night, and I think she had a live tonight, but thank you for saying that, Candace. And I appreciate you staying with me all night tonight and being here. I've really enjoyed talking to you this week, and I think that's something that I have to say to everybody. All you guys that have just joined, I know a lot of you aren't going to watch this live until later, maybe later in the week. I ask y'all, please, let me know. Let me know what I did right, what I did wrong, what you want to hear. Look into this information. Let's all work together because it really does my heart good to talk to y'all. Candace has been, and she's been texting me and messaging me, and Jessica Thomas has been messaging me. Our group has doubled, so I know people are on here. So as y'all watch, and as you learn different things, let me know what you want to hear. Let me know what you want me to do. Do y'all want me to maybe get a wipe-off board that I could post behind me or something? Maybe that would be easier. The only thing with that, though, is that it'll be backwards. Unless I can get my laptop to sync up with my phone so that I can turn it around so that we've got a correct perspective, because I can't write backwards, y'all. All right. I guess I'm going to sign off. It's only been about 50 minutes tonight, but I've really enjoyed it. And so you had the wrong counts starting out with. Well, good. Maybe this will help people get get that kind of honed in, zero in on those numbers. And we can all start sharing our favorite foods. Y'all find good foods? Let me know. I eat the same thing all the time. I'm adventurous, so I'll try about anything. And Candace, I am going to go out and look for those cheeses and see. And I may try blue cheese, but probably not. I can't stand it. All right, guys. This is your Sassy Keto Nurse signing off. Y'all have a great night.